After a wild race at Kentucky Speedway last week in the Krispy Kreme National Series, it was Duncan Wood getting his second win on the season in the third and final standalone event. For the rest of the season, we are alongside the JBL Cup Series as they are in the chase. But here today, on the eve of the chase opener for the JBL Cup Series for the Krispy Kreme National Series, we find out after 30 laps time on who gets the final 6 spots into the Season 3 Krispy Kreme National Series chase. It is race 16 on the season in the Gainbridge 300 at one of the best racetracks in the world of Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Wassup Everyone, it's your boy NR2003 aka Nathan Stapleton here, and welcome to the Brickyard. And it is time to do battle here at the Blitz, and this is what this season has led up to for so many drivers to fight for a chance for a spot in the Season 3 chase. 6 of them already have it, 6 of them are looking to get the other remaining spots, and we have a ton of different wildcard scenarios, point the way in scenarios, and we even have still a regular season title on the line. And it's going to be a fun one as always. Indianapolis, one of the best tracks on the schedule, and especially this version, and it's going to be a fun race here today. And we got Josh back up in the booth for this one, and welcome to the regular season finale at the Brickyard.
To be here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it is the world capital of racing. It's the most famous racetrack in America, and for good reason. This is a historic, iconic venue. It doesn't get any bigger than this, and we've got big implications in this race today, and it is going to be an interesting one for sure.
Absolutely, we got a lot of point scenarios, and on top of it, we have a pit stop around halfway, and that could really throw a monkey wrench into it, depending on who pits early, who pits late. And if we get a caution early on, then that will extend it a little bit to maybe 5 to 10 laps to go. So it's going to be interesting what ends up happening. But like we've been saying all day already, we have so many scenarios around the cutoff line, and it's going to be very, very tight on who ends up getting those final spots into the chase. Of course, 6 of them are already locked in, but for Nick Lopez, Duncan Wood, Juan Dwayne, William Ayers, April, Stout, Rowe, and maybe even Monaco, what do those drivers have to do to maybe point the way in here today?
Keep their nose clean, mind their P's and Q's. You got to race this track very similarly to when we were at Pocono. It's a very similar race track as far as the racing is concerned. You're going to see single file racing. It's not particularly easy to overtake here. Although, unlike Pocono, here, all the turns are basically the same. 90-degree corners, about 9 degrees of banking. And so, that's not to say it's predictable. Of course, we have the short shoots through. You can carry a little more speed going into the second corner of each set. So, I would expect most of the overtaking to be on the corner entry to like the first turn, so turn 1 and turn 3. And you've got to keep that thing matted down on the racetrack. If you're a guy like Eric Monaco, hasn't won yet this year, is trying to get in on points, you can't allow yourself to slip back through the field. Same for Gutierrez, Garcia, Ream, Chris Martins, and Benjamin Amati Jr. still like way outside. Amati's 49 points out. Basically eliminated without a win, and an issue with Stout and Rowe. Carson Miller basically out of it again unless something happens to Stout and Rowe. If somehow he manages to leapfrog Stout and Rowe, he'd be the first or second wild card. But this is certainly, again, going to be an interesting race, not just with the racing we're going to see out here, but important as well to see who makes it into the 12 driver field it's going to be a very hotly contested regular season finale.
Absolutely, and said hot. It's 92 degrees here at Indianapolis, so it's gonna be a hot and split racetrack on top of everything. And we already touched on it. Logan Williams, Chris Jericho, Felicity Mendoza, Caleb Rose, Avery Alford, and Ben Watson are all locked in to the chase based off of points, all 50 plus points above the cutoff line. And we're going to have to watch out for Logan Williams, Chris Jericho, and Felicity Mendoza for the regular season championship. Whoever gets first will get 15 bonus points towards the chase. Whoever gets second will get 10, and then third gets 8, and then fourth gets 7, and so forth. Nick Lopez, the World America winner, has been consistent all year long, top 10 merchant, and really top 15 merchant, has more top 15s than anyone. Only 3 top 10s, but an average finish of 14th. Only 24 points in. Duncan Wood, last week's winner, 18 points in with 2 wins. Ronnie Dwyer in 9th, plus 11. And Moon is plus 8. The bad thing for Dwyer is that out of everyone from 7th through 13th, he's one of 2 drivers without a win in the chase fight. So he needs to be inside the top 10 here in points today. 7th, 8th, 9th, or 10th if he does not win. For Abel, he can win, but he can also just point his way in. He's a minus 8. Jordan Stout, he can point his way in, but he also has wildcard number 1, minus 8. Allison Rowe has wildcard number 2, minus 13. Eric Marco in 14th, minus 16. Gutierrez minus 20. Juan Garcia minus 23. Bradley Reed minus 32. Chris Mullins minus 34. And then, of course, Benjamin Amari Jr. basically out if he does not win and have some help. And then Cosmo has a win already, so he just needs a lot of help here today. And then, of course, everyone else does not have a chance at the chase. And here's the top 10. It is our Pokemon winner from a couple of races ago of Chris Jericho and alongside Ms. William is Jordan Stout and Eli Bright in role number 2. Roberto Crown Jr. and Duncan Horde in role number 3. Role number 4 is Carson Miller showing up when it needs it, or when he needs it, starting 7th, Caleb Rose in 8th, and then Matthew Burnett and Anthony Hernandez rounds out the top 10. And unfortunately, Marcos does deep on the outside lane in the middle of the field. And then, especially some of these drivers like Bradley Ream still deep in the field, Alexander Rowe. And then you got the number 98, Evangel Gutierrez deep in the field. Juan Garcia is deep in the field. Juan Duwani. Avery Alford is deep in the field, but is already has a spot. So a lot of drivers that need good ones today start in the middle to the back part of the field. And with that being said, we're going to get these drivers rolling off here at one of the most famous racetracks in America. And of course my home racetrack. But it's going to be a fun one here today. The Gainbridge 300. And of course, we got the Cup Series. But I'm going to pass on to you, Josh. 30 laps on tap here today. And who do you think will win the regular season finale?
I think the winner is going to come up from starting near the front of the field, and I'm not gonna go back very far here, but I am gonna go 4th on the inside there. I think Carson Miller is actually in a really good spot to start this race, and I think that 51 is going to be one to watch out for. Obviously, he said he comes in 20th. He's 55 outside of the cut line. He's relying on the wild card to get into the chase. This could be a good run for him, and this could be what he needs to make it into the 12-driver chase.
Way to get into the chase, get the second win on the season, have some help, have either Stout or Rowe point their way in, bump out Swanee, and then he would get one of the 2 wildcard spots, and that is what he's going to have to take to get this race win and make it into the chase. But starting 7th is very doable, especially on the inside lane. Chris Jericho and William Ayers will lead us to the green, and for Jericho, he is in. He's fine for the regular season title. For him is 2 wins on the season, but he's been a little bit inconsistent. And he's on the bubble cut line. Jordan Stout right behind him. trying to make it in either on points or a wild card, and then Eli Bright 24,000 points just wants to win here today. What a season it has been so far in the Krispy Kreme National Series and the return season here in 2025. And we are about to go green for the regular season finale. Tomorrow is the chase opener for the Cup Series, but today is the regular season finale for the National Series, and we are green flag racing for race 16 on the season and for the Gainbridge 300. A clean first lap here at the Brickyard. Chris Jericho will lead lap number 1. But you saw in the back of the field, unfortunately, Angel Gutierrez has some kind of problem in the number 98 machine right at the start. And he has a fuel system issue. He took the green flag, so it's official. And unfortunately, that's going to take him out of the chase spot.
That's unfortunate for Angel Gutierrez. 15th in the championship standings coming in. He was only 20 out. Very much had a shot at making it in. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to come true here today. The dreams are up in smoke. But the top 5 here, it is Jericho, the pole sitter, and then it goes Stout, Lopez, Miller, and Matthew Burnett, the top 5. Here comes the 11 of Jordan Stout down low on Chris Jericho. These guys have battled before. Last time I was in the booth, it was at Pocono. But here's Carson Miller going down to the inside of the 7 of Roberto Crown Jr. And Roberto Crown Jr. not going to be able to defend the run from Miller, but Miller's not done yet, pushing Stout to the lead, and is certainly going to go for the lead on his own. He's got to try. He's going for every bonus point he can. Get very aggressive there with Chris Jericho.
Got a little bit tight into turn 3, and it's going to work out for him here. Jericho gets the one off turn 4. That's the unique thing about Indy. Turn 4 can sometimes get a 1, but Carson Miller's going to send it down into turn number 1. He knows what's on the line here today. Stout to the point, and Carson Miller in second. And how about this? All 3 Alpha Prime cars are in the midst. And Burnett, he's at speed at points this season, but he's had a lot of bad luck whenever he doesn't have speed. But Bill Crown Jr. Up inside the top 5. And then, how about this? The top 2 in the regular season standings are now going to be right behind each other, of Logan Williams and Chris Jericho. Williams is in the 7th position. And then we got Eli Bright, Nate Lopez, Ben Watson. That was cool. Oh my goodness, how about that for the regular season championship battle? Oh my goodness, and I mentioned it is a hot track here today, 92 degrees. And these guys are slipping and sliding around this 2.5 mile racetrack.
Logan Williams is not going to play nice with Chris Jericho. There's some big points at stake for that regular season championship. And there to the inside goes the 43. Matthew Burnett going to move into the 2nd position. Roberto Crown Jr. in behind him. Jericho on the rebound there in the number 8. And all of a sudden, Carson Miller is getting shuffled.
Not good for Carson Miller, and unfortunately that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars right behind him, and he could shuffle back way far back. And speaking of which, how about Duncan Wood? He needs a good 1, 2 points way in. He has a little bit of a buffer of 18 points, and he's in good shape right now. And really, everyone is in good shape, because I think right now, Dwani's still in the back on the number 19, all the way in the back. In the 29th position, has made up a little bit of ground, but as things would stand, I believe Stout will get in, and believe Durrani would be out. Abel is nowhere to be found. He's up inside the top 20 at least, so it will be close. But I believe with them Ayers being behind Jordan Stout, it would be close. But I think it would come down to Stout and Ayers early on. But we still got a long way to go. Only lap 6 coming to lap 7 of 30, and we still got a pit stop around the halfway point. But how about Jordan Stout? He won at Daytona in the Daytona 500 at the start of the year, and he did make it into the JBL Cup Series chase, but he's trying to make it into the National Series chase.
And back to Jordan Stout for a second. You're talking about Ryan Durrani there. Ryan Durrani falls outside of the top 10. Aaron Abel's not got a very good start right now either. Jordan Stout could realistically get in on points, and if that's the case, then it gets easier for Carson Miller, because he, again, 20th coming in, he would have the second wild card if Jordan Stout or Alexander Rowe made it in on points. They're the only guys in the top 20 with a race victory. But if William Ayers fell out of it, that's going to complicate things even more, because he's got 2 wins. Jordan Stout has 1. Alexander Rowe has 1. Miller has 1. And of course, it's not the number of wins that gets you the wild card. It's highest up in the 11th to 20th positions with a victory. So we'll see how the rest of this race goes. Meanwhile, side by side there's the 43 of Burnett slipped wide. That's Crown Jericho, followed by the 44 of Logan Williams, the 45 of William Ayers right there. So Ayers off to a very good start here at Indianapolis, but Burnett swings it way out wide on the outside, and near to the inside comes Carson Miller. Thinks better of it, pulls back in line behind the 43, and side by side behind him, that's the 1 of Eli Bright and the 00 of Nick Lopez.
Oh.
Lopez dives it to the inside of Miller, though.
And we're seeing it all day
Watson
long.
with him.
And unfortunately, Cosmelo's going to drop back, and we might see a little bit through light going to block him. And we've seen it all day, and this is Indy. You don't want to be on the outside lane for 3 out of 4 turns. Turn 4 is iffy sometimes. If you have the car for it, you can rip the high side, but you guys are fighting for the bottom all day long. And how about this from a good teammate? Chris Jericho is giving a nice push to Roberto Crown Jr., trying to catch up to the number 11 of Jordan Stout, and this is not surprising me. Jordan Stout, he has 1 win at Darlington earlier in the year, but he should have multiple wins. He could have 3, honestly. But he's trying to get his second one here today, and Jericho gonna send it in 1 and 2 on his own teammate. And Jericho is trying to get his second win in the last 3 races and maybe fight for this regular season title. However, Logan Williams is really gonna send it into turn 2 in almost every spot possible, because he knows that first place gets 40, second gets 38, so that's 2 bonus points if Jericho wins here today.
Jericho still needs a lot to go right. He's 12 points behind Logan Williams coming into this race. Meanwhile, back to Ryan Durrani, Aaron Abel, still running in the back of the field. Right now, Jordan Stout leading the race. He would be in on points, because Durrani and Abel, if I'm not mistaken, would fall out of it. Ryan Durrani's only 11 points to the good. Aaron Abel's 8 points out. Jordan Stout is tied with Aaron Abel, 8 points out, but Stout has a win. Nevertheless, he would get in on points if things ended right now. Alexander Rowe in the 31. Where's that 31 at right now? Because we got to check out where he is as well in the standings. He's in the running for the second wild card spot. He's only 13 points out. There he is, running in the 14th position, so a decent run, good enough run so far for Alexander Rowe, doing what he needs to do to make it into this chase. There he is, getting passed by the 29 of Felicity Mendoza. But again, Carson Miller could still get in, as long as we don't have another new winner that ends up ahead of him from 11th to 20th in the standings. Jordan Stout is in on points. It would be Alexander Rowe and Carson Miller. If it ended right now, that would get the wild card spots. Ryan Durrani would be out, Abel would be out, Ayers would be in. So we'll see how the rest of this race goes, but right now, unless something drastic happens, which we'll wait to see with when we have pit cycle, it absolutely could. It's looking all right so far for Stout. It's looking great for Stout right now. Obviously, he's leading the race, and he's kind of dominated the first half of this race. Alexander Rhodes looking good, solid for him. Carson Miller slipped back a bit, but he's still running in the 9th position the last time through. Here's Jericho going down to the inside of Stout for the race lead. Will he have him into 1? Oh, yeah, he's going to have him going into 1. And Roberto Crown Jr. going after Logan Williams in the 44 as well. They're both going to move up spots. Jericho to the lead, Crown to 3rd, and don't look now, here comes the 45 of Ayers down to the inside. Ayers not going to take that spot away just yet. Those teammates are still side by side. Give it to Williams. He holds off his Alpha Prime teammate.
And how about Alpha Prime? They got all 3 cars inside of the top 6. Burnett really trying to make some moves, and Burnett, he just wants to win at this point. He didn't make it in the Cup Series chase. He's not going to make it in the National Series race to the chase. He just wants a win at this point. And he might be able to get that after pit stops, and that is the key thing. We've seen it before here at Indianapolis, but we've had pit stops start and they wreck into a pit road, and that causes a caution and flips everything upside down. That could easily happen. It's happened before. But back to what you've been saying with Jordan Stout. He doesn't need to win, but when I'm running second in points, second on the racetrack, should be easy enough for him to point his way in with Durrani having a rough day, and he should be able to point his way in, but he wants to win. He wants to win number 2. Try dive bombing in turn number 3. Should be seeing pit stops in a couple of laps, and this is smart from the 98. I was about to say the 98 is slow, and he's just going to pit now to get out of the way. So that's smart from the 98. And lap 14, lap 15, and we could see the leaders pit next time by.
That's Angel Gutierrez, by the way, 15th of the championship standings, only 20 points out from the from making it in on points when we came into this race. He has not won this season just yet. He is a guy that if Carson Miller did not jump him in the standings, Angel Gutierrez could win. And that would give Gutierrez the second spot, the second wild card spot. Miller would be out. Here comes Roberto Crown Jr., though, down to the inside of Stout. I thought Crown... caution's out. Caution's out, and let's see where it is. As Jericho comes to get the caution flag.
Oh, it's Gavin Paley.
Harry in the 21. There was another car further ahead. That is the 27 of Avery Alford. Don't know if Alford was involved in that at all.
I think what was happening is I think the leaders were about to pit, and then, caution, and then that one had to stay out.
And coming out of tricky turn 2.
Turn 2, and you know what? If the 98, never mind, it's going to be a lap down, but, that's going to change everything. How about that? A halfway caution, essentially, and that was right before pit stops, too, because I think in turn 3, a couple of them were about to go down pit road. So now, halfway through this race, and it's going to be the money stop here in the Gainbridge 300, and we'll see what ends up happening. Can Jericho win the race off pit road? Will Stout win it? Or will someone surprise us? I believe the 98 is going to go around since he was just on pit road, and we'll see on if the 98 was able to fix the fuel system issue or not. But here we go, one and only pit stop of the day, and because of the 98 in between the 8 and the 11, Jericho's gonna have a huge gap into pit road.
So really, it's going to be a battle to see who comes off of pit road second. Jericho looks like he should ideally have first place in the books, but of course everybody comes down. Could it break this race even right here just past halfway, and everybody should be good to the end from here. Stout goes into his stall. There's Crown. A quick
Oh,
stop there for Stout. It's going to be Gas and Ghost for Jordan Stout. And look to see if Jericho's taking tires. Interesting splitting strategy is Jordan Stout with so
oh
much on the
no.
line, and somebody's blown up. That's the 16 of Anthony Hernandez.
Ooh, I don't know if I like it. I think 3 drivers did the fuel only strategy. Vladimirs up here now. Oh boy, I don't. There's not a lot of tire whip, but I don't know if I like the fuel only call.
It's a shorter race, but that's a tough break, by the way, for Anthony Hernandez. Not that he was going to. He's already mathematically eliminated from getting into the chase, 101 points out in the 25th position. But that's just insult to injury, kicking a man while he's already down after 15 races. It's been a tough season for him, and he's not going to be able to battle for a championship here in season number 3. But there's the rest of the field coming out. Will join in the pacing line behind the safety car, which is going through the short chute between 3 and 4. And it'll looks like it's going to be Stout leading the way. Watson up there in second. I believe he took tires. I believe everybody behind Stout took tires. So this should be this is going to be a very, very interesting restart.
Absolutely, and we're gonna see what all the strategy will unfold, and let's go ahead and get the 98 out of the way, and we will see what happens. We have the first caution of the day, and get back to the restart here in the regular season finale for the Krispy Kreme National Series. Alright, this is what happened. We have the first caution of the day, and it's quite simple. With it being 92 degrees in game, Gavin Perry kind of went up the racetrack in turn number 2, and I guess one can try doing a slide job, and it worked. He got past the 21 of Gavin Perry, but because of it being so hot and split, he put himself into the wall in turn number 2, and then nowhere to go for Gavin Perry, and then down the racetrack for Avery Alford to get a piece of it as well. Luckily for Avery Alford, he was already locked in to the chase on points, so this isn't too bad of a deal for him. But a very unfortunate scenario to happen right before pit stops were about to happen. And that was it for this caution. Just a simple 2-car spin. A lot of calamity in turn 2, but only a 2-3 car accident here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Well, the name of the Bon Jovi album is Slippery When Wet. It's slippery when hot as well, and clearly the memo was not received. Big slide there, and poor Gavin Perry gets into the back of that car. Was at the 07 of Riley Kendall, and unfortunately there collects the 27 of Alford, and looked like Gavin Perry was the only one to get any actual damage from that. Alford got away pretty much scot-free, but first caution of the race is out, and frankly, that's inexcusable to be that far, that deep in the field, and ruining the race for the guys up to the front, because we're just a bit early. And as we saw, we saw some splitting strategy there. Jordan Stout took fuel only on pit road, did not take tires. Suspiciously, I have no idea why they did that. We're basically right at halfway. Maybe some guys are thinking, oh, we'll just hope that they're going to have to pit towards the end, but good lord, guys, we're already right at halfway. I don't know what everyone's thinking. I don't know what they're thinking back there, running in the low 30s, racing that hard and doing that and ruining the race for everybody else up front. But yeah, it's unfortunate. But then again, and of course, also under this caution, poor Anthony Hernandez. has an ECR moment with the engine, and that thing went sour as they came into the pits. When it's not, haven't seen it yet. It happens right before he gets into his pit stall. Unfortunately, not yet, but at some point you'll see the smoke come out of the leaf filter Chevrolet. Very unfortunate situation for him as well. He came in 25th in the championship, was already eliminated from chase contention, 101 points back, and still
Oh,
not seen. There it goes, right there, right in front
of his
of Kenneth
pistol.
Miller in the 20.
Wow, and yeah, that happened right before he was going to make it into his pit stall as well. So that's very
Could
untimely
not
right
have
there.
timed it worse.
Yeah, that's gonna be a heartbreaker there for Adrian Hernandez. And like you mentioned, a lot of different strategy. Some drivers up front did a stop and go, and I don't know why, but Chris Jericho was the first one that took 4 tires on fuel, and we'll see what ends up happening with 11 laps to go here in the Gainbridge 300 at the Brickyard. Welcome back to Indianapolis Motor Speedway here, and it's go time. 11 laps to go, next time by in the regular season finale after the first caution of the day, and this is going to be very interesting. We still have a lot of scenarios all in play. Nick Lopez, Duncan Ward, Ron Dwyer, William Ayers, Abel, Stout, Wall, Monaco. Everyone is still on the racetrack in the points battle and just in general. No one is out besides, unfortunately, the 16 of Anthony Hernandez who blew up into pit road. But everyone else is still on the racetrack and still have a lot of different scenarios playing out. We also got some fuel and tire strategy, as Jordan Stout did fuel only, and from what we believe everyone else second on back to some variation of tires. Watson in second trying to get his first win on the season. Kenneth Miller in third. Chris Jericho in fourth. Bradley Ream in fifth. Roberto Crown Jr. in sixth. Logan Williams in seventh would still be the regular season champion over Chris Jericho a few spots ahead. William Ayers in the 8th position. And then the Alpha Prime trio of Matthew Burnett rounds out the top 9. And Carson Miller rounds out the top 10. Duncan Ward, Caleb Rose, Rowe, Bright, Lopez, Monaco, Abel, Garcia, Martins, Duwani round out the top 20. Gonna be 11 laps to go. And how will this all shake out? Back green, a great restart from the top 2 here in the Gainbridge 300 with 11 laps to go.
Immediately to the inside there goes the 28 of Bradley Ream. Ream comes in 17th in the championship.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, big dive by Jericho. The 20 of Kenneth Miller did not get a good corner at all there in turn 2. That is going to be something to watch here. And Ream, by the way, just to finish up, 17th of the championship coming in. It's not won yet this season. And its stat would be in right now on points. But if Ream won, that would knock Carson Miller out. And Carson Miller is still sliding back in. These guys are going to come down again. Watson down, Stout down. That's going to stack up the back half of the field there, even more so than they already were. Who else was down there? The 20 car of Kenneth Miller. And who was behind him as... Who's leading this thing now? Jericho? Jericho's leading this thing.
It's also
then it's Crown. Then it's Crown, and I believe that was William. No, it's Logan Williams.
Yep.
And then behind, that is the 5 of Duncan Ward. Got around the 45 of William Ayers. Ayers is in, by the way. He's been in for all of the race now. Miller is... Man, I don't know now, because that just blew everything wide open. What a terrible strategy game there by Jordan Stout's crew. At least he has the wild card to fall back on if nothing else catastrophic happens, but that may have just doomed Carson Miller, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, I don't know what that was all about. We kind of saw that at Kentucky where a handful of drivers couldn't make it on fuel when they pitted under the caution there, and it's basically the same scenario. And I don't know why these guys are doing what they were doing. At least at
I don't
Kentucky,
know why did they not take tires under the caution, man?
I don't know why they didn't take any
Makes no
fuel.
sense.
At least Kentucky, they did tires and fuel. This time they just did a stop and go and didn't even take fuel. So, unfortunate boy, but luckily Stout has that win, so it might end up being with Stout and will keep the wild cards. And now we might have to worry about the point scenario here in this one. Jericho's trying to get a second win in the last three races. But Bull Crown Jr. not enough in as far as the cut line is concerned, and really for the wild card, but would like to get his first win on the channel here today. And then Duncan Wood and Logan Williams battling for the third spot. William Ayers in fifth, Miller in sixth, and this is a whole line of colors behind him of Rose, Bright, Burnett, Monaco. I don't know if he's gonna make it in. He's gonna have a good one inside the top 10 right now. And then this is big. Abel is in 11th. Chris Moulton's in 12th, and about Juan started all the way in the top, outside of the top 30. Now he's inside the top 15 with Garcia, Nick Lopez, and Alexander Rowan inside the top 16.
Up front, the leaders were getting ready to run up on a lap car. That was Kenneth Miller in number 20. Still ahead of these guys. Jericho tucked right in behind. Crowd all over the backside of car number 8. Heading into turn number 3. Does he make a move to the inside? Oh, here we go. Side by side. Crown taking a look down low. Jericho fires it on the outside through the chute. Fires it on the outside again through turn 4. And looks like, I don't know if he's going to clear Crown, but that's going to bring Duncan Ward right into this.
How about Duncan?
Duncan Ward, he's looking for win number 3 on this season.
And 2 in a row. He won last week at Kentucky as well. But Kenneth Miller is blocking everybody here in during turn number 1. And this is punching everyone back up. Jericho, Crown Jr., Duncan Ward, Williams, Ayers, Rose, and Boyd as they were almost 3 wide behind him and almost went off turn 2 again. Jericho's going to get past the number 20. Same with Duncan Ward trying to get win number 3 and 2 in a row. And it's looking, oh my goodness, Logan Williams going to send it on the number 7 of Crown Jr.
And really, that is product of Kenneth Miller's just staying up there among the leaders, refusing to let them go, and still racing the lead lap guys. It's a wonder why he's 36th in the championship. He really shouldn't. He really has no business being doing what he was doing. That was deplorable display there by Kenneth Miller. Should have just let them go. That was dangerous, and it was naughty. Shouldn't have done that at all.
Well, here's the interesting thing. Monaco is on the move in the number 97. He is in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th spot. We only have 4 laps to go, but if he can somehow get past the 20 of Kenneth Miller on the front straightaway, maybe he has a shot at this race win, and that's the thing that can really throw everything in the mix. Because Dwayne, I don't know if he's going to be able to make it. William Ayers is doing good. Duncan Wood is doing good. I don't know where Nick Lopez is. But Abel is not doing great. And he's actually doing okay just outside the top 10. But Monaco is the wild card. If he has a good enough run or wins this race somehow, he could make it into the chase still.
See what they do. Here's Duncan Ward, though, trying to chase down Chris Jericho. Jericho is trying everything he can to... He can't do much more to try to go for the regular season championship. Looks like it's going to go to Logan Williams, who's currently sitting comfortably in the 4th position. But 3 laps to go. Ward trying to become the leading winner on the season, all over the backside of Jericho. Jericho running a good line, but Duncan Ward is right in his tire tracks. Good run out of turn 2, down the back straightaway. See, does he make a move heading into turn 3? And of course, if these two tangle, the 7 of Crown could try to pounce.
Duncan's gonna try and wait and make the move late, and he definitely does not want the teammate of Jericho of Crown Jr. to get into this battle as he's going on pit
Duncan
road.
Ward's pitting.
What on earth he's pitting? And I don't know why he's going down pit road. And someone else is going back down. Avery Alford.
You know what? They pit early for that caution. So we're going to have a pit cycle here to end this race. Who's going to stay out the longest? Who's conserved their stuff enough?
Oh my goodness. They should have been able to make it. I don't know what's going on in the last 2 races in the National Series. But this time by, it's going to be the white flag, and we're going to see on who can make it and who doesn't.
Could this potentially help Jordan Stout pitting on the last restart? Does this bring him right back up into the mix? And Jericho's going to come down. Who's going to stay out? It's going to be Logan Williams. Logan Williams is going to have a shot at win number 3.
A lot of drivers on pit road. The power they want to go is out. I guess they were not able to save enough fuel under the caution period. White flag is out for Logan Williams. And how about Williams is in the second spot? Eli Bright in third. Caleb's in fourth. Chris Martins, Juan Garcia, and Juan Duani's inside the top 10 now. Oh my goodness, watch out for the 21 that's in pit road.
Whoa!
And maybe, just maybe, William Mills might have a shot to get his third win on the season.
I don't think he's going to get there in time. I think Williams has got it, but good job for Ryan Durrani as they come around the corner. It looks like he's going to make it in after all.
What a chaotic finale for the regular season finale. Don't know what's been going on lately, but how about this regular season champion and win number 3 on the season and win number 15 on the channel? Logan Williams does it again here in the Krispy Kreme National Series.
And indeed, it looks like Ryan Durrani has qualified for the Krispy Kreme National Series chase for the championship. Ayers is in. Duncan Ward, well, we'll wait to see. He was 18 to the good coming in. Aaron Abel finished 20th. Duncan Ward finished 26th. So Duncan should be in. Stout finished in the 32nd position. Rowe finished, saw him up there a second ago, 25th. He came in 13 out. Stout was 8 out. Carson Miller finished in the what position?
8th.
He finished in the 8th position. It should still be Stout and Rowe as the wild card. Durrani should be in on points, so it should be relatively unchanged, at least as far as like who's going to make it in for the chase order. But what a race today, and what a win for Logan Williams. He didn't lead a lap until the last 2 laps of this race. There were, of course, the 2 laps that mattered the most, but goodness gracious, I guess this has been, he has 11 top 10s now on the season, 8 top 5s, 3 wins through 16 races. I guess it's kind of been like he doesn't really have to win. Wins just more or less fall into his lap. At least that's what's happened today. Logan Williams, congratulations on the win. Ayers so close, but heartbreak for Jericho and so many other guys that just did not get the strategy game right for whatever reason. There's going to be some big discussions among the strategists today. There's going to be some people putting a timeout after this one for sure.
It was one thing for it to happen to only 4 people last week at Kentucky, but that was almost half the field, at least double digit, that somehow couldn't make on fuel. When in testing, if it went caution free, they looked good. But of course, we have that caution, then people, I guess, wanted to try some stuff, but they weren't able to make on fuel. And I just don't know. The points are in. Logan Williams is the regular season champion by a large margin because of that, with Jericho pitting late. Jericho still gets second in killables with him getting fourth today. He's now third in points. He's going to get 8 bonus points. Felicity Mendoza in fourth. Avery Alford, Benny Watson, Nick Lopez, and seventh. Nick Lopez is in. William is went up a couple of spots. So he's in eighth and he's still in. Dwani's in and Duncan Wood is in. And there's a big margin. Shout out to Juan Garcia though. 11th in points and just missed it by 21 points. And unfortunately for Aaron Abel, he's not going to make it. Same for Monaco, but I think Monaco's going to be a contender for some wins in the chase. And it is going to be basically the same that I entered, just a little bit of movement. Nick Lopez, Duncan Wood, Juan Dwyer, and William is all in. And then Alexander Lowe and Jordan Stout are in for the wild card. Stout moved up ahead of Jordan Stout. Lowe jumped ahead of Stout. So it stayed pretty much the same with some movement. But there we have it. That is our chase for the National Series Championship that will start next week at Chicagoland Speedway, one of the crazy mile hats on the schedule. With Logan Williams, Chris Jericho, Caleb Rose, Felicity Mendoza, Avery Alford, Ben Watson, Nick Lopez, William Ayers, Juan Dewani, and Duncan Wood on points, and then Alexander Lowe and Jordan Stout in as the wild card. I don't know what happened at the end if all these draws pending late on fuel, but that shook up everything. And what a race here at Indy, and hopefully we don't see that in the chase opener for the Cup Series tomorrow. But what's the final thoughts on a wild regular season finale?
You'd think for a one-stop race, where generally you break it even halfway, you'd think, okay, we got the strategy right. We know what we're going to do. And we're going to take care of our stuff under the caution, and we're going to make it back around. We only need to do one stop. Some guys just royally screwed up. There's, again, like I said, there's going to be some huge, huge discussions after this one. A very entertaining race, though, from just looking at the race as a whole. I was thoroughly entertained, thoroughly glued to it. There's so much going on. Logan Williams, again, big congratulations to you. Literally wins by a tenth of a second exact. That would probably, I'd imagine, go down as one of the closer finishes of this season as well. But, like, again, it's not like he wasn't up there the whole race. He was literally in the top 5, top 10 for most of the race today. It's just everybody else screwed up the strategy game, and the win fell into his lap. You gotta take him however you can get him. Big congratulations to Logan Williams, and the way he's looked this season, frankly, he is the favorite for the championship. He's going to have the number 1 seed for the most wins, for having the most wins. And certainly, if this is any indication, he is going to be dangerous in the final races of this season. Ayers, mad props to you, man. Almost had it, but you also were up towards the front all race long. Caleb, where did you come from, man?
Who knows?
4th place.
And third in the regular season
place.
championship because of that.
Good stuff for Caleb. He's going to be one to watch out for as well. So many guys to shout out here in this top 10, and one, because it's going to get buried under all the pizzazz about the chase. look at 10th place. From
9th and 10th.
35th in the championship standings, Hallie Anderson Jr. Again, I want to say that again. From 35th in the championship standings. That is only Hallie Anderson Jr.'s third top 10 of the season. Well done. Absolutely well done. Carson Miller, you have nothing to be ashamed of, dude. You drove a heck of a race today. Not going to make it into the chase, more than likely, but you know what? You're definitely one to watch for the Best of the Rest Cup for the rest of this season, because my goodness, drove your tail off today. So big props to you as well. And I cannot, there's so much to go over. We'd be here for a while, but we've got so much to get ready for at Chicagoland anyway. Just we'll dispense with the rest of it, only to say everything's great, and holy cow, that was one heck of a race today at Indianapolis.
Absolutely, and I think we can make a case for everybody in the chase that could have a shot, and really about 10 or 12 drivers for the, I guess, unofficial Best of the West Championship, because guys like Ann Abel, Juan Garcia, Monaco, Chris Moulton's even one of the new drivers on the channel has been wet hot during the summer. Gutierrez could have a shot at that. Like, there's so many drivers that can beat 13th in points at the end of the season and be kind of acknowledged as the Best of the West, and that's just been this season. The National Series has been more competitive than the Cup Series, and the Cup Series has been really competitive, so this has been the most competitive series, and these drivers and teams have put on a show, and it's going to be a fun next 8 races here at a whole different setup of races on the schedule, and it's going to be a fun chase, and we're going to see if Logan Williams, the all-time wins leader now, 15 wins, and is in the chase in both Cup and National. Could he get a double title here this year? That could be interesting to see if that happens, but congratulations to Logan Williams on the win, and everyone that made it into the chase. Thanks for Josh for joining me up here in the booth, and tomorrow will be the Season 6 JBL Cup Series chase kickoff here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Brickyard 400, presented by Gainbridge, and if it's anything like today, we are in store for a wild one. Until then, we'll see you guys next weekend for the National Series at Chicagoland Speedway.